Shadows in the Mirror. Chapter 1, Rebirth in the Mirror. The rainy night in London was cold and solemn. In her previous life, Ania Lixie, she fell alone on the bed, her blood scattered like autumn leaves. The betrayal of her husband and the hypocritical family made her life like frost. After being reborn, she opened her eyes and saw the ancient mirror for the first time, herself in the mirror. Her skin was like congealed fat, her eyebrows and eyes were delicate, but she had a cold sense of alienation. Ania raised her scissors and without hesitation, she strangled a strand of hair, and the broken hair fell like a black waterfall and fell to the floor. Brocade clothes and jade food are not what I want, so what does it matter if I wear plain clothes and cloth shoes? She whispered, her eyes igniting with an unprecedented fire. In this life, she only lives for herself, dedicating herself to academics and the rivers and mountains of the motherland, and is no longer trapped by false love and interests. Chapter 2, The Light of Knowledge. Although Ania's previous life was miserable, her knowledge was unmatched. After being reborn, she devoted her mind entirely to research. She brought several ancient books and notes with her, delving into history, geography, chemistry, and mathematics, and even dabbling in medicine and astronomy. In a dilapidated study in London, she discovers a lost ancient map marked Land of Dragon Veins, which is said to contain the wisdom treasures of ancient civilizations. Ania decides to explore it herself, and this adventure will lead her on a bizarre journey. Chapter 3, Companions. On the way, she meets two very different people. One is a young archaeological genius, Thunder Ilser, who is personable and intelligent, but always has a mysterious sense of alienation. He admired Ania's knowledge and courage and was willing to walk with her. The other is the antagonist she is most familiar with in her previous life, Kevin Vaunt, a person who once betrayed her for the sake of her family's interests, but in this life he has become the guardian of the adventure team. His attitude is cold, but he always lends a helping hand in times of crisis. The three of them form an unstable but powerful team and embark on a journey to find the Land of Dragon Veins. Chapter 4, The Wind and Clouds. They follow the map through glaciers in the Alps, heat waves in the Sahara Desert, and even deep into the misty forests of the Central Asian wastelands. The wonders and creatures encountered along the way are dazzling: fluorescent butterflies that can stealthily, desert foxes that sing at night, and mysterious giant turtles that can interpret ancient characters. One night, Ania was studying ancient books alone and suddenly discovered that the Dragon Vein land on the map could correspond to astronomical and astrological phenomena. This means that not only does it contain the wisdom of civilization, but it also contains the secret of ancient energy, perhaps changing the fate of the country. Chapter 5, Betrayal and Trials. Just as they were approaching the Dragon Vein land, Kevin betrayed the team. He is bought by a mysterious force with the intention of monopolizing the secret treasure. Ania and Thunder face danger and must navigate through traps and illusions to evade Kevin's pursuit. In the vision, she saw herself in her previous life being swallowed up by indifference and betrayal, and that scene pierced her heart, but it also made her more determined. She learned to turn fear into strength and approached the truth of the Dragon Vein land. Chapter 6, The Land of Dragon Veins. Finally, they came to the Land of Dragon Veins, the ruins of an ancient civilization hidden in the deep valleys of high mountains. Strange lights and shadows reflected the mountain wall, and ancient characters danced on the wall as if they were alive. Ania combines notes with maps to decipher hidden mechanisms and uncover the truth about the treasures of civilization. Ancient knowledge and technology can regenerate wastelands and help countries prosper. Thunder collaborates with Ania to transform the wisdom of ancient civilizations into practical solutions: agricultural irrigation, medical technology, astronomical observation methods, and reshape the country's rivers and mountains step by step. Kevin repented of this, and he finally chose to redeem himself and help Ania complete the final sealing and protection work. Chapter 7, The Way Home in Glory. After returning to London in her homeland, Ania is no longer just a beauty, she has become an academic legend and a mainstay of the country's scientific research and cultural revival. Her name is praised by later generations as the shadow in the mirror, symbolizing rebirth and self-redemption. Thunder became her lifelong partner, jointly studying ancient civilizations and new technologies. Kevin is committed to charity and cultural heritage protection. Ania stood in front of the laboratory window, looking at the stars in the night sky. There is no longer the shadow of her past life in her heart, only the light of knowledge and freedom. Chapter 8, The Undercurrent is Surging. After the secret of the Dragon Vein land was revealed, Ania and Thunder did not return home immediately. They stayed in the valley to study the wisdom of ancient civilizations. The valley at night is illuminated by fluorescent grass, and the sound of the wind echoes in my ears like a whisper, as if telling a story from 1,000 years ago. However, calmness is only an appearance. The dark shadows in the distance gradually gathered, and the guardians of the ancient civilization, a group of aliens with strange bodies and covered in crystal scales, had already sensed that someone had broken in. They possess the ability to manipulate the elements of nature and remain on high alert to any intruder. Faced with a real threat for the first time, Ania did not flinch. She used wisdom and courage to negotiate with foreign races, demonstrating her respect for the wisdom of ancient civilizations. The leader of the alien race, Jingling, put forward a test. If they can complete the 3 trials, they will be allowed to take away the wisdom of the treasure. Chapter 9, 3 Trials. The first trial, the Heart Mirror. At the beginning of the trial, Ania and Thunder are led into a labyrinth of light, reflecting their deepest fears and desires. Seeing her husband who betrayed her in her previous life and the indifferent eyes of her family, she was almost consumed by anger. But she took a deep breath and reminded herself that this life was for freedom and knowledge, not revenge. Thunder also faced the shadow in his heart, the fear of his father's last wish and his lack of confidence in his own abilities. The two supported each other and passed the Heart Mirror trial. Second trial, Elemental Dance. The alien race manipulates the 4 elements of wind, fire, water, and earth to form a rotating trial tower. Ania and Thunder must pass the test with intelligence and cooperation inside the revolving tower. Ania uses her understanding of geography and natural laws to skillfully predict the movement of the elements and lead the Thunder to the top of the tower safely. The third trial, the Chain of Knowledge. The final test is a test of knowledge, as Anna is asked to decipher a complete ancient stele with intricate and symbolic inscriptions. After overnight research, she perfectly decoded with logic and intuition to present the wisdom of civilization to Jingling. The foreign leader nodded in satisfaction, declaring that the trial had passed, and promised to protect their way home. Chapter 10, The Choice to Return to China. With the wisdom of the Dragon Vein civilization, Ania and Thunder embarked on their way home. They planned to apply these technologies to the country's agricultural, medical, and cultural revival. However, Ania faces a choice. Does she want to make her secret public? Once made public, it may trigger power struggles and wars. If you keep secrets, you can only slowly influence the world with wisdom. In the end, she chose wisdom over impulsiveness. She and Thunder jointly established a secret research institute to apply technology to national construction in a low-key manner, which not only avoids chaos, but also can truly change people's hearts and rivers. Chapter 11, The End of the Feud. Kevin once betrayed her and is now a philanthropist, helping to preserve ancient civilizations and cultural heritage. He appeared again and confessed frankly. Ania is no longer swayed by hatred in this life. She forgives Kevin, and understands the fragility and complexity of the human heart. A delicate balance is formed between the three. Thunder becomes a lifelong partner and confidant, Kevin turns enemies into friends, complements each other, and works together to promote the development of humanity and civilization. Chapter 12, Stars and Freedom. As the Secret Research Institute gradually operates, the wasteland of the motherland is reborn, the barren areas are restored to fertile fields, and medical technology helps countless patients recover. Ania stood in front of the laboratory window, looking at the starry night sky, her heart full of freedom and satisfaction. She is no longer a pawn swayed by fate, but a master of her own life. Chapter 13, The Mysterious Guest. One night, there was a gentle knock on the door of the institute. Ania opened the door and found a stranger in flowing clothes standing in the moonlight, calling himself Night Feather. His voice was as clear as a silver bell, but his eyes were unusually deep. Yeling brought a map that is said to mark an unexplored floating archipelago, which hides ancient and mysterious aura and artifacts. This is exactly the uncharted territory that Anya and Thunder dream of. Thunder frowned. He didn't want to take any more risks, but Anya's eyes sparkled with excitement. This is our mission, and it is also the ultimate challenge of academia. So, they decided to embark on another journey into the unknown. Chapter 14, Floating Islands. Through the clouds, Anya and Thunder arrived at the floating islands. The air here is filled with crystal aura, trees spin with the wind, and the lake water is suspended in mid-air, emitting a soft light. During their exploration, they encountered a group of human-like creatures with wings, the Cloud-Winged tribe. The Cloud-Wings have the ability to manipulate wind and light, and they are wary of outsiders. Anya earned their trust with respect and humility, earning her the Crown of Light Feather, an artifact that can increase mental power. However, crises also followed. The island's ancient guardian, the Wind Flame Dragon, awakens, believing that outsiders will upset the balance. Thunder and Anya must work together in a crisis, using their wisdom and artifact power to defuse the dragon's wrath. Chapter 15, The Trial of Light and Shadow. The trial of the Wind Flame Dragon is not only a confrontation of strength, but also a challenge of the soul. It can see through the secrets and fears deep in the human heart. Anya saw her former fears, betrayed and abandoned by her family, but this time, she was no longer afraid. She told herself, I live not for others, but for myself and the future. Thunder faced inner loneliness. His father had asked him to sacrifice himself for the benefit of his family, but he chose to accompany Anya and pursue truth and freedom. The dragon felt their sincere intentions, and eventually turned into a light, defusing the threat and granting them Dragon Flame Crystal, which could accelerate the research and application of spiritual energy. Chapter 16, The Way Home and the Conspiracy. Upon returning to the mainland, Anya and Thunder used the knowledge they brought back from the floating islands to elevate their agriculture and medical skills to unprecedented heights. The famine and disease that once threatened the country were gradually dissolved. However, Kevin discovers that someone is secretly coveting their technology, a group of shadow forces from the Outlands who want to conquer the continent with advanced technology. Anya and Thunder must once again face the test of wisdom and courage. In a thrilling chase, Anya cleverly devises traps, using aura and artifacts to resolve the crisis and expel the shadow forces. Chapter 17, Dawn of the Continent. With the defeat of the shadow forces, peace is restored to the country. Anya trains a group of young scholars in the Secret Institute, combining wisdom and ethics so that knowledge can truly benefit people's hearts, rather than being swallowed up by power. Thunder became her most stable pillar. The two worked together to explore the mysteries of unknown civilizations and nature, and Anya's name once again resounded in the academic world and the world not only of beauty, but also a generation of wise men. Kevin turned his past mistakes into strength, devoted himself to cultural protection and charity, maintained good interaction with Anya, and jointly protected the inheritance of civilization. Chapter 18, The Eternity of the Shadow in the Mirror. Many years later, Anya stood in front of the mirror, looked at herself who was still bright in the mirror, and smiled slightly. This time, her eyes were no longer filled with hatred or sadness, but were calm, comfortable, and confident. She dedicated her reborn life to freedom, knowledge, and the motherland. Whether it is the pain of the past life or the challenges of this life, they have all turned into a touch of light and shadow, forever remaining in history and people's hearts. Postscript. The meaning of life is not revenge, but in self-control and the use of wisdom. Anya used courage, knowledge, and love to write a legend of her own. The brocade in the mirror is not only her name, but also a symbol of everyone who pursues freedom, wisdom, and self.